Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to mumble! Tonight we're going to talk about the train wreck called a debate. So let's join in. Welcome to three conservative gimps. And let me turn down the echo and we'll get this show started. Alrighty. So we got a great show today. We got a lot to talk about, probably mostly about one thing. So let's get the show going. Let's welcome my good buddy all the way from Muskogee, Oklahoma. Let's welcome the lucid and dulcet tones of Lloyd Mendenhall. Welcome, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Art. I don't know about the lucid part, but yeah.
Well,
yeah.
at least you're lucid.
Yeah.
Compared to who we're going to be talking
compared to
about.
who we're going to thrash today in the
Right.
in the show. Yeah.
So how's the weather in your neck of the woods?
It is friggin' hot and muggy. We're like about 70% humidity, and it's about 98 degrees out, and it's
boy.
just it's well. I'll save it for my. I have an expression. It's so hot outside that when I fart, I don't know if I've crapped myself or I'm just blowing sweat out of my ass.
Alrighty, let's welcome from the blue state of New York. Let's welcome Charles Galusky. Welcome.
Hey, Lloyd.
Hey, Charles.
Better to be lucid than losing it.
Yeah, there you go.
That is true.
Everybody in the chat.
So, we got a good crowd tonight already, which is, I think it's the subject is.
I'm sure the subject matter has a lot to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah. Cool Cat put up there.
Greg, a moderator.
Okay. Yeah, Cool Cat put up there. It looks like my prediction that he'd be replaced before the election. Yeah, he said it looks like it's coming through. I've been saying it. I saw it coming. Just the Democrats, they don't care how they win, just as long as they win.
Right.
And they'll throw anybody under the bus. They've done it before, and they'll do it again.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we get started, let's say hello to everybody in the chat. We've got Dominic Papa Sergio. Welcome all the way from the land down under. And then we got Greg Horvey. I think he's from Florida. I don't know. Then we got Michael Cool Cat. Welcome. And Captain Joe America, USA Drone Flyer. And who else? Oh, Steve Knowles, because he knows a lot. So welcome, Steve and Charles Galusky, Lloyd, and who else? And that is
Lee Bessing. Lee Bessing was the one that signed on first when I looked. But
that's right, Lee Bessing. Good to see you.
Or Lee Bessing, I should say.
Bessing.
Yeah.
Bessing.
And Greg says yes, he is from Florida. South Florida.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So the other night we had a thing called what I like to call a train wreck. It's called a debate. And I watched about 15 minutes of it. And I thought, oh shit. Oh my God, this is a train wreck happening right before my eyes. And I thought, well, I think it's time to go to bed. Yeah, so that's what I did, and so we'll talk about some of the things that he said or tried to say, and some of the things that Trump. I think he was trying to go in that direction, but I'm not sure if he misspoke or maybe he was generalizing. Especially in the abortion department where he was talking about scholars said it was, that it should have gone. I think what he should have said, even liberals like Ruth Bader Ginsburg agreed that this should have gone to the state. because I think that would have lent more credibility, but he just kind of generalized, and it's like, I don't know.
I think he was doing generalization. You know, that I've gone through. They said that he lied 30 times. I don't and I don't know if they were necessarily lies. I think they were general talking points in which an overall consensus might of one party or another might believe it, and that's a generalization. I don't know that it's necessarily, you know. And besides, he's a politician. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, so you know, it's one of those. In a way, it sort of goes with the old saying, you know, why let the truth get in the way of a good story?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And he was, I mean, and first of all, he was answering somebody that had no clue what he was saying in the first place.
Mm.
And the moderators didn't fact check or call him on any of that. That was another thing. I think their idea was is to let him sink himself on his normal campaign stop rhetoric. He was very controlled.
Right.
Yeah, and Uncle Bill is right. Opinions are not lies, and I think it's his opinion and the opinion of others that this is the case. You know, he doesn't have every fact available to him right there on the
Right.
spot,
Mm-hmm.
and he is in his 70s, and I can say for a fact that your recall isn't quite that quick. Although he's a hell of a lot. He's still pretty damn quick. He's smarter than I am, and he's a hell of a lot faster on his feet than I am. But I looked at this as not a train wreck. I looked at it as 90 minutes of memes.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I thought about doing some memes, and I thought, man, no,
And Uncle Bill was right again.
I kind of felt sorry for Joe. You know,
Oh,
I mean,
I felt terribly sorry for him. I thought it was just unacceptable what they're doing to him. The man is obviously has no idea what he's doing. He has moments. You know, my father had dementia, and I know what. And one of the things they did with my dad, you know, because we put him in a nursing home at the behest, because my mother couldn't handle him anymore, and he was getting more and more violent. And one of the cousins came to me and said he probably needs to be put in, so we put him in. Well, he fought it, and eventually it turned into a long court battle. But what it come down to, and this is one of the things I found totally unforgivable, was they decided to prove his competency, so they took him in for an IQ test and an evaluation, and he come out and told my cousins that took him there that he didn't think he did, and it demoralized him. You demoralized a man by insisting that he prove that he's sane rather than going by what the rest of the doctors were saying was that he had dementia. And this is what I saw with Joe Biden. I saw them pushing him out there and forcing him, and at the end of the day, he had to go home, and now he's got to hear this on the news. And I think it probably was the straw that broke the camel's back when it comes to the way he's dealing with stuff, and I don't see I don't see it going. I'm not even sure he's going to make it to the convention.
Right. I think you're right. I mean, to start off, the way he walked up to the lectern.
Yeah.
I mean, he, was a slow gait, and it's not like, somebody that had a very confident stride and went up there. He just kind of
shuffled,
had that shuffled, and kind of had that look like, where am I? Why am I here?
Yeah.
And,
yeah. And you're right. Uncle Bill's put up several good things there.
right.
And one of the things is Biden lied about Charlotte, and he also lied about the inflation rate. There was a lot of, and for Biden to have had a week of preparation, this is what think what it would have been like if they hadn't prepped him at all and just sent him out there.
Right.
And that's the man that has control of our nukes.
Yes, which I will go into
later.
a little later. But what I wanted to say was that the part that really kind of jarred it for me, that really signaled how this debate was going to go, was when they talked about abortion and how Biden took abortion and steered it into illegal immigration. And,
Yeah.
and then when he finished, and they asked Trump, and he goes, "I have no idea what he said."
Yeah, exactly. Hang on a second.
Is there somebody at the door? Go answer the door.
My son has decided to mow the lawn,
Oh, okay.
and the dogs are going to give him hell. So I apologize. I'll try to mute it.
All right. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, and there was just I just couldn't watch it anymore. It just really disturbed me, and you know, like you said, he was talking about inflation, and Trump responded by saying, "Yeah, before the pandemic hit, inflation was this." And then when the pandemic, and that's what the Democrats are trying to do, is they're trying to portray how bad the economy was under Trump. But you got to remember, he had a pandemic going on. You know, prior to the pandemic, the economy was going great, was going awesome. And unemployment was down and inflation was down. Oh, and then they tried to get him on spending. Well, I mean, Biden is spending probably just as much, if not more. So,
yeah, a couple of things. Sorry about the dogs, but hang on a second.
All right. Who let the dogs out? Yeah, that's right. All right, there you go. Get that shock collar on and let him go. So, yeah. Yep. And under Biden, inflation just is still going. You know, the price of groceries is 20 to 40% higher than it was under Trump. Price of gas, just in the past week, gas jumped 40 cents here in Denver. Well, part of that is due to the holiday coming up. The price of gasoline always goes up because there's going to be a lot of traveling, and that's puts a strain on demand, and that drives up the price. So you got that, and yep, that's right, Michael.
Okay, I got him somewhat under control.
Okay.
Yeah, there were several things in which I think, God.
There you go.
Bear. Anyways, that damn dog, I'm going to kill him. He's the worst one. All the other dogs are quieted down.
Okay.
So, anyways, let's go on with what you were saying. Never mind.
Yeah, we were talking about Bidenomics and how they're trying to show that how bad the economy was under Trump and how everything just hunky-dory right now.
Charles just texted me that his internet went down.
Uh-oh, okay, that's probably on my... okay.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, just got a message on my watch, yeah.
So,
yep.
God, I'm going to kill that dog.
And so Greg said trueflation.com is great site. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, some of the stuff he talked about, like the inflation, they said that he lied about. I think he may have because he said it was the lowest inflation in history. Well, I think he meant like well, the job rates, the lowest unemployment in history, and that was with the blacks. And I think he didn't state that, and that's what they're trying to nail him with. What I find is, after all this happened, the Democrats started panicking. Everybody started all the pundits started saying that, he needs to step aside and let somebody else do it and all of this stuff. And they did that for 2 days, and starting today, now they're saying it's Trump that has the dementia, and Trump should step aside, and it's just hilarious. They're spinning this back around and trying to make it Trump's fault.
Right. So it could be that they're going to prop him up, and they probably all came to a consensus, even though if they replace him with someone else, Trump probably will still beat them because their poll numbers are probably telling them if they put in Whitmer or Newsom or even Polis or Michelle Obama, would probably lose to Trump. So they probably came to a conclusion, we're toast, so let's let him take the seat, and then we'll just, ramp it up like we did with his first term and give him holy hell, so he'll be bottled up and won't be able to do anything. That's what they did with Sarah Palin. That's why she resigned her job as governor of Arizona. She had a ton of lawsuits that just bottled up her administration.
Okay. You used the wrong name there.
Sarah Palin?
Yeah, she wasn't the governor of Arizona.
Oh, Alaska. I'm sorry.
And I thought she resigned so that she could be the vice presidential nominee under.
She resigned well after the election. Yeah, but I could be wrong. Doesn't mean I'm lying.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Because she could still be governor, and then if they would have won the election, then she would have resigned. Yeah. Otherwise, if they lost, she'd still have that seat. That's how
that may be cute.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look it up just because I don't know. I just assumed that.
Mm-hmm. So, and then they're talking about making abortion a federal law.
Yeah.
Well, they could do that, but here's the other problem. What about the states that don't have abortion? Those people vote too. And, that's a big chunk of the electorate that I don't know if abortion was on the ballot that it would be a winner. It could be wrong. So. Okay.
Yeah, you resignation from oil and gas. I'm going to have to look more into that because I just assumed she resigned because she was running for vice president, but
Nope.
So
she had right after the election, and she still had time left to serve. She was just being inundated with lawsuits, kind of like what they're doing to Trump right now. She was the first one that they used lawfare on her to try to, balance up her administration, because when she became McCain's running mate, that put a target on her back.
Right.
Made her the most hated Republican woman in the country.
History. Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
I think what they might be underestimating if they let Biden run is that not only we may get control of the Senate and the House, and then they'd have a little problem with the bottling up stuff,
Yep. But the key states like New York and these blue states will try to get him on something. they'll bring up something from the past, and even though it's past
Yeah.
statute of limitation, they'll take a
Well,
misdemeanor and turn it into a felony.
yeah. Well, with that, they're with the Supreme Court decision on January 6th. That's going to make some of that a little hard to do because
Yep.
they're saying basically they're saying they're using a law that wasn't applicable to what they were trying to do, and that was what it come down to, and that's why it was and all of those people who were charged with felonies. Those felonies didn't apply to what really happened, so
Right.
they're going to find it hard to do that from this point forward, so we'll see. And depending on how the case goes against him in the immunity case, which is
Right.
looking, I'm going to say 60-40 right now that he's going to win it, but
Right.
I don't put anything past this court. I will say they've done a pretty good job of what I think is being fair and balanced, but I'm going to kill that damn dog. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Her favorite song, and they call it Puppy Love. Don't you have a room to put him in? Keep
No.
him away. No?
No.
You don't have a bedroom with the
Yeah, well, it's easier said than done.
Yeah, well, hey, talk to Bill. He knows a lot about little dogs.
Hang on a second. I know a lot about too. Hang on a second.
They only barked once when I came in the house. So, anywho, so we could talk about who the fuck has the nuclear football. Who the hell has it? I sure as shit hope Biden is nowhere near it. My worry is he'll probably mistake the button as a call button for, hey, I need a bedpan. Yeah, you'll think it orderly or the nurse is going to bring his bedpan or urinal for him. So, yeah, and that's right. I saw that, Michael. Yep, there are more charges coming. So I think that if Trump wins and he has control of the House and Senate, I think he's going to clean house with he's going to rid this corruption that's permeating in the State Department, the CIA, FBI, the DOJ, probably the NSA, maybe, get rid of don't get me wrong, they have some good people in those departments. They just need to get rid of the top-heavy idiots that run that.
I think what he's going to do is, if we're talking about Trump, he's probably going to clean the top echelons.
Yeah.
And those that have gone woke.
Right.
And those who have agreed with, like, the DOJ and their prosecution of the way they've used the laws and twisted the laws. I think I heard today one of the guys saying, said, well, this same DOJ that indicted Trump and found him guilty is the same ones that are bringing the charges against Hunter Biden. Yeah, after what? They had 57 former intelligence officers. Right. It scares the hell out of me. If those intelligence officers aren't any smarter than that, I'm glad they're former and not current,
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if on after November 7th or whatever day the election is on this year, November 5th this year. Okay. After November 5th, if Donald Trump wakes up on the 6th and he is the president or president-elect, I have an idea that on the 7th, there's going to be a mass resignation.
Yeah,
Especially if they carry the House and the Senate as well.
right. And don't forget, I think a lot of key Democrat figures are probably going to flee the country,
Oh
fearing that
yeah,
they're going to be arrested.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
Adam Schiff will probably leave. I think Michelle and Barack Obama will flee. Hillary Clinton will flee the country.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, but Trump has said that he's not in it for revenge,
Revenge.
and
Yeah, but here's the deal. What these people are going to do is they'll find a friendly European country they'll go to. They'll be like, either Snowden or Assange, and seek asylum,
yeah,
and they'll proclaim we're the legitimate government of the United States,
yeah,
and they'll pretend that they're the government in exile.
right,
Like during World War II, the Polish government was in London,
yeah.
and the
Well, I think they'll have problems if they go to England because right now England is looking at a big conservative movement over there, and it looks like they're going to have a nationalist, conservative, or right wing government come into power. So,
well, there's always France.
well,
I mean,
France is running into the same thing. France has got the
well,
same problem.
they got Roman Polanski. He's still
Well,
living there,
yeah,
unless he.
but I don't even know if he's still alive. Is
Yeah,
he?
I don't know. I think he probably passed away.
But as far as he was okay. His was a different thing. He was a
Right.
director. That was one thing. These guys saying, claiming, they're going to pack him up and send him back in favor to Donald Trump.
Right.
Because they're going to but he says he's not going after him and lay off the federal employees and all the FBI, move good agents to SEC or Homeland. Yeah. Yeah, they need to. Something has to be done with our current intelligence departments, at least the heads of those.
Right.
I think we need to. I mean, we're going to have to wait and see. Right now, we got to win the election. That's the biggest
Right.
thing.
That's true. That's true.
And we can only get so much help from Joe Biden. Eventually, we're going to,
Right.
Although he's helping a lot, and we appreciate that help, Mr. Biden.
Yep. And right after the debate, I heard that RFK Jr. would consider coming back to the Democrat Party and be the replacement for Biden.
Yeah. Did you talk about what we talked about earlier about if they appointed somebody to replace Biden?
No, I was just talking about the nuclear football and
right.
That kind of has me worried, and I think a lot of people.
Well, it does, and here's the thing: when it comes to this, I've talked about them replacing him at the convention, and something was brought up, and it doesn't mean they're not going to do it, and I still think they will, but it was brought up on one of the sites that I was looking at. If Biden is pulled out of office because of the 25th, that will put Kamala Harris as the head of the party.
Right.
And she would be the front runner nominee. But the other option is if they go to convention and they have what's called an open contested convention, in which they can throw it open to anybody who wants it, and then they have the votes. And let's say Biden steps down, but they have and they don't. Let's say he steps down from running, but he doesn't step down from the presidency.
Right.
That means Kamala will be the front runner, but doesn't mean she's necessarily going to get it, because they could choose somebody like Newsom or Paulus or
Whitmer.
Robert Kennedy Jr.
Yeah.
Uh, they could put anybody in there, but the one thing, and this is where Robert Kennedy Jr. has an up, is he did declare himself as a candidate, and Kamala Harris ran as the vice presidential candidate with Joe Biden in the primaries. So both, and she was elected. She was also elected. But if they pulled anybody else up there, none of them will have been elected for that spot. So every Democrat that voted in a primary this year, all of their votes would be thrown out because they don't count for anything. If they put somebody else besides Kamala Harris or RFK Jr.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes. They may be, the barrel may already have been too badly tainted by this particular apple.
Right. That's true, and also, I said that they probably came to the conclusion that no matter what happens, they probably are going to lose the election, and so they'll let Trump win, and they'll take their chances 4 years down the road or whatever. What
Yeah.
was so?
Now, did you also discuss what they've been saying about poor Donald Trump? Nancy Pelosi has come out in support of Joe Biden, saying that it's actually not Biden that has the dementia, it's Donald Trump has dementia, and we just got him confused.
Oh, yeah. Is this the same person that blatantly said that they refused the National Guard on January 6th?
Yeah, same person, yeah.
Yeah.
And
wearing
and
a
also,
mask inside the car.
by the way, we do have a medical expert who stepped up in support of Joe Biden, and is somebody we all love and respect, Dr. Fauci.
Dr. Fauci, yeah.
Dr. Fauci.
Dr. COVID Fauci.
Dr. COVID Fauci is saying that Joe Biden is perfectly lucid and fine, and he supports him. Says he never treated me badly. No, that's because you were spreading his lies for him.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. I think he's definitely showing she's definitely showing her dementia. Well, I mean, even watching the videotape of her saying that, she sounded like she was talking like Katharine Hepburn,
Oh, no,
yeah.
And they're even talking about trying to dig up Dianne Feinstein as a replacement.
Couldn't, I've seen memes that say, like dead man walking, because of course that's referring to somebody who's going to their execution, and in some ways that was sort of what happened. His character was totally executed. What was Thursday night? Yeah, Thursday night.
Thursday night. Yep.
Has it only been that long? God, it seems like it's been a week and a half already.
Yeah.
Like, damn, if we talk this horse to death or not.
Well, speaking of primaries, we had a primary here in Colorado, and guess what? All all but 4 candidates endorsed by the Colorado GOP lost. And Dave Williams lost to Jeff Crank by, more than 50%. Yeah, I mean, he got thumped really bad. Ron Hanks up in who was running in Bobert's district,
right,
also got spanked pretty badly up there.
Yeah, because Bobert won.
Bobert won her race.
Her race, yeah.
The only person that came close was Jerry Sonnenberg, who I thought, would be the leader until she decided to switch districts. Yeah, so yeah, he lost by 20%, but here's the deal. Janet Joshi lost to Gabe Evans 78-22. Yeah.
Wow.
I think the people in that district saw him as the carpetbagger they was, because he's was a state rep from Colorado Springs, and he's running for Congress up in Thornton, Colorado, which is just north of Denver. And so he got thumped really bad. So, and Ron Hanks came out and said the Republicans are irredeemable. I'm like, oh, no, you're the one that's irredeemable. The people came out and said, nope, we're tired of these wackadoodles running the party. It's time to bring sanity back in. Now they're blaming David Koch and Americans for Prosperity for their loss.
Yeah, it's always funny how, when they, instead of saying they beat me on my record or they beat me on the policies that I was putting forward, they didn't approve, apparently the people didn't like, they would rather blame somebody else instead of, okay, I sucked. My policies apparently sucked too,
Yep.
They always want to blame somebody else,
Yep.
And it's getting so old.
Yep. Well, and that's like that idiot from New York up in the Bronx who got beat in the primary. He was part of the squad. He was the Hamas.
Yeah.
He lost, and he was bitching about, dark money came in, and the Jewish voters decided, no, we don't want you to represent them.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yeah, and somebody else that came out in support of Joe Biden and said everybody leave him alone, and that was
Joe Biden?
No, well, Joe Biden actually thinks he did better than Donald Trump in it.
Oh, God.
But was what's his name? Lurch.
Yeah, okay. Kerry.
No.
Oh,
the guy that had the stroke.
Oh, Fetterman.
Fetterman.
Yeah.
Said they shouldn't pick.
Fetterman.
Yeah, they shouldn't pick on him. On his stutter and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right, Greg, the fire alarm guy. Yep.
Yep, the fire alarm guy.
Another person who may be losing their seat is, I think, Cori Bush out of St. Louis. Looks like she might lose her seat. AOC's running unopposed, so I think the only way she could lose is if the Jewish voters just, say, stay home and screw you and let the Republican win, or
the
Republican.
Well, they may come out in support of the. They may come out in support of the Republican, anyways.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, they're in districts that are heavily Muslim anyway, so I think their seats are safe. Yeah. Yeah, so I see one of our drone guys is in the hospital.
Right. Yeah.
Who's Albie Drone?
Yeah, okay. I'll be droned. Okay.
Broken rib. Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
And
prayers to him.
Let's see, Bill. Oh, it's still. As far as I know, he's still waiting on his back surgery. I don't think he's had it yet, has he?
I don't know. I haven't.
He had a hernia surgery this last time, and
right.
As far as I know, he's still waiting on his back surgery. They're still,
right. Yeah, he's got that embolism in his lungs. The blood clots and.
Who Bill does?
Yeah, Bill of Chin Dynasty.
Oh, that Bill. No, he was talking about Bill of Coast to Coast Drones, I thought.
Oh, that Bill. God, we got. I mean, we got as many Bills as Joes and Jims
And Mike's.
Johns.
And
Yeah.
Mike's. Yeah, Mike's and Michael's. Yeah.
Yeah. And Steve's.
And Chris's. Can't forget Chris's. We got a bunch of Chris's. Yeah.
Yep. Only one person named Art. Is
there only one Lloyd that I know of?
Yep, that's right.
But
yep, you're right, Bill, that they are yep.
They're in defense mode. They already know there's no one that will be Trump. Beat Trump.
Yeah.
Anyone who actually is on the ticket is sacrificial lamb.
Yep.
Yeah, keep the Senate, flip the House.
Kneecap Trump for
4 years.
Yeah, I said. Yeah.
I think that's probably their actual gameplay. They're throwing out a bunch of stuff, but it goes to show you how complacent the media was in all this.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it reminds me. Have you seen Casablanca?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah. Where the guy, what's the guy's name? He said, "I can't believe there's gambling here."
Yeah,
that
got
was it. He was the constable, the French guy that. Yeah,
it's been too many years.
Yeah, because he was kind of, turning a blind eye to what was going on at Rick's Cafe.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh, gambling? I have no idea there was gambling here. That's kind of like what they're doing with Biden and his lack of cognition. Yep.
Yeah, it's like, and the shock on their faces and the and they whined about it for 2 days, and then they started today. Doing the spin.
Go after Trump.
Yeah.
Spin it as Trump's the one with the mental deficiency.
Right. Yeah.
And also what I wanted to bring up, a couple state legislatures lost their primaries. These were the ones that supported Hamas. Yeah. Epps and Hernandez lost their primaries on the Democrat side, which is good.
Could you imagine, let's say we're coming up to an election on November of 2001. Let's say that instead of 2000, let's say it was 2001, right? Right after 9/11. Could you imagine those guys even opening their mouth about being pro-Hamas?
Yeah.
Would we have allowed that?
Oh, yeah.
They'd have been on the terrorist watch list. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it is all these years later, 23 years later, and we're just like, freedom of speech, man.
Yeah. Freedom, as long as it's not the opposing view, then it's hate speech.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I just saw a thing on Megyn Kelly. They did a poll about how people that are proud to be Americans. It's the lowest it has ever been. It's like it just
the younger generation,
especially the younger generation, the 18
that's
to 34,
18 to 34 group.
Down in the teens. I'm like, oh, holy shit. Yeah.
They have
among Republicans, it's down.
Yeah.
Close to 50%, if not a little lower than 50%.
Yeah.
I'm like, it could be because of what's going on with our.
Well, right now, I think it's, what, and this goes with that. What's really sad is not only did we see what most of us already knew about Joe Biden, and the country saw it, the Democrats saw it, but so did the Russian and Chinese.
Yep.
And so, it's embarrassing in some ways to be an America that would vote that idiot in office.
Right. Yeah,
And
that's why I come to the conclusion. I think the last election was stolen. How else could this idiot have gotten into office? You know,
they say, well, there's nothing been found, but whose Justice Department was doing whose Justice Department was looking into it?
right? Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know,
And all the shenanigans were, all of a sudden a bunch of votes showed up out of nowhere. Yeah, because they see Trump as ahead, and so they had to work in the wee hours of the night.
And to be honest with you, we
definitely Democrat areas.
Well, we talk about throwaway candidates,
Right.
and I think in a way that's what Joe Biden was, just like Crooked Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was a throwaway, and every so often a throwaway ends up winning.
Right.
Well,
and part of the reason, there are two things that happened that got him in the office. Number one, the big elephant in the room, Ross Perot.
Yeah.
If Ross Perot wasn't in the race, I think George H.W. Bush would have served another term.
Right.
The other thing that hurt Bush was the
read my lips.
Read my lips, no new taxes pledge. I think that really hurt him as well.
Right. Yep. And like Uncle Bill says, only because of Perot. Yeah, I think that's everything right there. But I think they came to the conclusion that they might lose more than just the White House if they let Trump win a second term. So they decided they better go ahead and use their backup plan, which was to steal the election. So and hopefully at the end of, hopefully they were really hoping back last summer he would announce that he's not running for a second term. Instead, he did just the opposite and says he is running for a second term.
Right. And
what Steve says.
Yeah, what Steve said. Yep. Oh, what I was going to say was even Vladimir Putin he's talking about these charges against Trump, like the New York, charges, and he talks about, even the American public is starting to see how corrupt the justice system is, and they're not going to trust the justice system after this.
No. I mean, we haven't. In a lot of ways, we haven't trusted the FBI since the '60s.
Yeah.
We haven't trusted, the CIA. They make more movies about the crap that they pull.
Right.
They got to be getting their ideas from somewhere.
Yep.
So.
So that's what's going on. What else? I told you about the two reps that lost. So it looks like sanity is finally starting to come back in Colorado politics. I think what's happening is, the what they call the establishment Republicans, they just got tired of putting up with the RMGO, Rhino Watch wing of the party and say, all right, you guys are so smart.
Yeah, that's true, Steve.
Let you run it, let them run it. And we watched how corrupt it got and how Dave Williams was capitalizing on the Trump conviction to siphon money to come to his campaign, and how they used the party to endorse candidates. No, the party chair is not there to endorse anybody, because that would show favoritism. You're not supposed to do that. I ran for office before. I never had the state saying, oh, well, we endorse art over Brad Wagner or vice versa. No, they didn't do that. They only support the candidate after the primary, and then
Right,
that's
right.
when they
Get
look at,
behind.
okay, what races, what chances does this guy have of winning? How about the competitive seats? Maybe we should funnel more money into those seats, and the seats that we have no chance, we're not going to give you money. And I get that. It kind of felt shitty to me
Right.
because most of the money came out of my pocket, and I did get some, donors giving me some money, not a whole lot, but it helped to get my mailers out there. And that's the big expense: mailers and yard signs. It, yard signs are incredibly expensive
Yeah.
unless, say the person before, the term that I ran against, if they still had their signs, if they could give me the what we call the H bracket, to where all I have to do is print out my yard signs, and I take their the things that hold the signs in the ground.
Yeah. The stakes.
The stakes. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. And so I had some help with that, and and the shit that you put up with, your signs getting stolen, and it's like, oh, shit. You drive by, and I go, oh, my competitors' signs are still up, but mine are gone. And I'm on a public or a right of way where a lot of people put their signs up, but for some reason the Republican signs get stolen. And that's what's going to happen this cycle.
Yep.
All the Trump signs are either going to get stolen or destroyed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like what Cool Cat says. He says the stolen election theory seems likely, but he's not convinced. The idea is predicated on all those people can't be stupid enough to vote for Biden. I'm more inclined to think people are that stupid, and he's got a good point.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. So it'll be an interesting election cycle. We'll see how vicious it really gets down to the wire. I bet there's going to be a ton of money. I mean, this will probably be the most expensive election in history.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I think it's going to get really vicious. And I've seen videos on YouTube and TikTok where a black couple who happen to be conservatives, they put up a Trump sign, and they put up a camera, and they show the same guy stealing their signs over and over.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, that's just shitty. This stuff, well, I'm sure it probably
It
happened,
has happened as long as I can remember.
but it just, to the
It's
degree that it's gotten, that
admittedly our elections are more contentious and a little more, and I think it's getting a lot more violent than it used to be.
mhm. Yeah, I just hope it doesn't get really violent to where we might have some people getting injured or killed in the
Yeah.
process,
That's
including
probably
candidates.
do what?
Including candidates.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
That's what worries me the most. I think.
Hmm.
You know.
I mean, this happened to George McGovern, Robert F. Kennedy,
Yeah.
Steve Scalise.
Yep.
The state
The
well,
U.S. congressman.
congressman out of New York that was
Yeah.
shot at. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's her name? The Democrat out in
Oh yeah,
Arizona.
Kathy Gifford.
Yeah.
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 Hmm.
Gifford. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
And
it's not just on one
one
party
side
or
or the other. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Well,
Who was it?
JFK.
Was it Squiggy Fromm that attacked? Was
That
it
was Gerald Ford.
Gerald
Yeah.
Ford? Yeah, yeah.
Yep. And Susan Moore, I think, was the other one, but she wasn't affiliated with the Mansons.
Manson. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They tried to shoot Ford, and oh yeah.
Cool Cat, an HOA is a homeowners association. Certain areas of the country have these organizations that rule a neighborhood on what they can put in their yard, how their trees have to look, what their fences are, and you pay them the privilege of living there.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure to put motion sensor sprinklers over the Trump sign. Oh yeah,
Yes, I've seen the electrified sign. That's hilarious.
yeah,
Where the guy
yeah.
comes up, grabs it,
Yeah.
gets a nice jolt out of that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, homeowner association. It's a good thing I don't live in one right now. They'd probably be throwing me out of the neighborhood. So,
Uh-huh.
but so. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, we didn't get to cover as much as I wanted to because I was fighting with my dog. I had a good rant going that I was prepared to use, and I just didn't quite get up my full head of steam. So,
All right. Well, we've done an hour.
thanks, Lee. Tell your wife I said hello.
Yep. Oh, Yellow Rose. Hey, Lee, good to see you. Greg, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, Greg.
Everybody in the chat, thanks for coming. Hope you all have a great Independence Day weekend. Be safe out there. Eat a lot of hot dogs, and make sure the fireworks go up in here, not into somebody's roof or tree or start a lawn fire.
And also, be considerate of the veterans, especially the war veterans, during this time because it can create a problem. So don't, be considerate with your fireworks because some guys don't handle it as well as others.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so take that in consideration too. But
all right. Good night, y'all.
Good night, everyone. God bless America. We need it.